The next important tech area, if we are talking about that, is there's a lot of news it is making the Zoho email suites versus the Google Workspace. So if we talk about, the question is how significant is Zoho's cost advantage over Google Workspace, because we use Google email servers for everything. And it costs a certain amount for businesses to use these email services and maintain all those Google Docs and all that entire suite of the Google products that it offers. Now that we have an Indian company and the Zoho is offering these services, and what do you think about that from as a technician, as a techie?
In fact, Zoho has been a popular ERP, cloud-based ERP for quite long actually. So they are almost 20 years old, and a lot of businesses they have been using Zoho ERPs for a long time, but they came to limelight once recently when our information minister Mr. Vaishni Vaishnav promoted, or recommended Zoho, and he was actually using the Zoho Office suites. And so far, people were not aware that Zoho is not only a ERP company, but they have the complete Office suite like Microsoft Office. So they have PowerPoint, PPT decks, they have Zoho Doc, they have Zoho Email, and you name it, Zoho Spreadsheets, they have everything. Zoho Meetings, Zoho Calendars, all the kind of
everything, whatever Google has,
exactly,
Zoho also has.
Most of the Microsoft suites that we are tools that we normally use in our day-to-day life, they have actually developed them quite long back, and they have been selling it across the globe, and you will be surprised to know that their revenue is more than 8,000 crore annually. And it is growing. So now I think net worth is more than 50,000 crores. So it's
as I can see some data, Zoho reported financial year 23 revenues. Right. Revenue surpassing 8,700 crore.
Exactly. And it is growing. So now that it has become more and more popular, and even now that Indian government personally is recommending, and of late as the ministers, most of the ministers have announced in their social media profile, so they have also onboarded to Zoho emails and Zoho.
But with all this, Sumanji, whatever you said, now the retail people are waking up with all this news that is happening.
If you see the cost advantage, it's almost
before the cost advantage, what I have a data is only 14.3% of Zoho user base is in India.
Exactly.
Rest of it they are selling outside.
Outside, exactly. Many countries are already using it. So it is that means it is already widely accepted, and it is well tested. And so, I mean, you can imagine the quality of the products already.
We feel often feel bad that our product,
our
such
own,
a good product is
Indian
there and we are not using
product
it.
That we were not aware of unless the ministry came forward and promoted that our own companies.
Since you are talking about cost, Sumanji, I have some information in my system right now in front of me. For a 50% company, a Zoho Professional costs about 3,600 rupees per user per year.
Exactly.
Versus Google Business Standard at 8,400 rupees.
So almost 2.5 times. So that's the amount of cost.
It's about 60% is the saving.
Yeah.
So it is 1/3 of whatever the cost of Google suite.
In 1/3 cost, you get the same quality as almost as good as Google.
Okay.
Or Gmail suite.
So another question is, what drives Indian organizations to choose Zoho over Google?
Of course, because your data is shared when you are using the suites or any application from abroad. You are actually giving away your data. So that is very critical, especially when government starts using. Imagine Google or
government
like
writing emails, internal circulars and emails.
So government has been using Microsoft application all along. So Microsoft has all the you never know what kind of data they have archived. So that's a big risk. So now when you are using Indian-based applications, and when the data is hosted in a data center in India, so you are actually protecting or keeping your data within India.
So it is data sovereignty.
Data sovereignty. Okay. So that's the biggest benefit of that.
And a lot
Not
of
only that, promoting our own companies, boosting our own business, so that helps, and it will inspire the new generation to, in fact, start building in India. Then, we often see the best of the IITians are moving abroad and they are working, and you can see the likes of Satya Nadella, likes of Sundar Pichai. They are building, some of the best, applications for America. Why can't they could have done it here, provided the same opportunity was given to them. I think now that ground is the base is already laid out. I think we'll see that happening soon, and I think we are actually spearheading in a very fast pace, and we'll see those things happening in next few years.
Wonderful, sir. And the other question is, whenever a company comes up like this, always the question that comes is, can Zoho compete globally against Google's ecosystem? Because Google is huge and they have huge, especially the global market. Because if because it dominates the enterprise and education sectors globally, Google.
Right.
And also Zoho gains a traction basically in SMEs or in government or privacy focused organization within India. So Google's $12 billion global market, and that is the size, versus Zoho's growing. It is growing, but it is smaller footprint compared to the Google's size.
Right. So I think it's just the beginning, and now that I think the very intelligently government started using before preaching to others. So I think that will build the trust factor, where other sovereign governments who are also facing the same issue, like losing their sovereign data to outside companies. I think and also because India has that reputation of what do you call it, like being more honest and transparent. Normally Indians are very authentic in that sense, so people trust. The trust factor will probably work in our favor. So I think more and more companies will, more and more countries will probably start using our applications, Indian based applications, and thus it will increase the business.
And also Zoho's business model, if you see, it's an integrated business. So you have CRM, you have collaboration, so everything is there. So
entire business suite is available.
Yeah.
Starting from your email to ERPs, you name it, they have it. So that's a very big advantage.
Wonderful.